Hey guys, so it is time for another live with Living Well with Epilepsy. Today has been a very busy day. I am looking forward to finally meeting my guest, which is Tolu Precious, and she does lots of work on the African continent, and I'm so glad to have everybody joining and so much I want to talk about. So let's see if we can invite our guest and give me just a second while I send a quick little invite to her. And so we've had a couple of conversations this week about so LaJoy, so lovely. So she just noted I had my first seizure at work last week. They asked me not to return. Do me a favor and direct message me, and we can talk. It depends on where you what kind of what your rights are, and I would bet that just direct message me. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. What a beautiful color on you. That is your
Ooh.
color. I love it.
Just thought I'll try something different today.
I love it. So, so let's take a second before I get all excited and want to
Oh,
talk.
goodness.
So, do me a favor and tell everybody sort of who you are and about your organization and a little bit about where you are in the world.
Good question, isn't it? Because a lot of people actually don't know where I am.
I know.
So, my name is Tolu Olaniyan, and I actually live in the UK.
Okay.
Okay, just to clear that,
Mhm.
I actually live in the UK. I live on a small island in the UK called the Isle of Wight in the south east of of England. So I live there. I work as a registered nurse. So I am actually a registered nurse for people with learning disabilities and autism, and I specialize in epilepsy. So just to add a little bit more to it, so I'm not just a nurse. So I work with adults with learning disabilities and autism with a specialty in epilepsy as well. And to add more to the background, I'm originally from Nigeria. Um, but then I tend to do quite a bit of work across different countries.
Yeah.
And so why people get confused as to, am I Ugandan? Am I Kenyan? Am I Sierra Leonean? And I'm like, I'm actually Nigerian by birth, but just lived in the UK for 15 years now, and I practice in the UK. But
Okay.
I'm passionate about epilepsy um, in lower middle income countries, really. So my work takes me across different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you practice nursing in the UK primarily.
Yes.
Okay. Um, and when you travel, um, tell me a little bit about your consulting and your global health work. Just give a picture.
So it all kind of started about 2 years ago. I started kind of going involved in teaching, and because I am passionate, everyone that knows me knows how passionate I am about actually creating more awareness and getting the right information out there,
Yeah.
really. So I got involved. So was it last year now? It actually feels like years ago. So last year I attended the first Pan-African Autism Congress in Kenya.
Okay.
So this took place in Kenya last year, and I decided to go there to teach about autism, learning disabilities, and epilepsy, and also other health issues as well. So I did that last year, April, did that, went there, taught there, and then I had a lady called Sarah Snow contacted me from Medical Assistance Sierra Leone. So she's based in the UK as well, and actually
Okay.
does quite phenomenal work in Sierra Leone. So she contacted me and asked if I wanted to join their charity work, the charity with regards to their work and projects they're doing in Sierra Leone, which was fun. You know, I felt, oh, great.
Yeah.
And I joined them. So that was how I joined Medical Assistance Sierra Leone. And right now I'm actually the interim chair of
Oh,
Medical
okay.
Assistance Sierra Leone. So it's a UK registered charity that
Okay.
provides healthcare access in Sierra Leone. And the work we're doing in Sierra Leone is fantastic. We've got, it was started by a Sierra Leonean neurologist that
Oh,
worked in the UK and retired and decided to retire back to Sierra Leone, and
oh
we
wow.
started the project with him. So the project started some years ago, and now we have about 23 clinics across Sierra Leone
Okay.
that we actually, through those clinics, provide information to the public about epilepsy. They come for the assessments through the clinics.
Yeah.
We get medication to them. We try and provide help to them. We set up support groups. So we've got healthcare support workers that go out into the field to do all that aspect of things. So that's the bit about Sierra Leone. And then I thought, okay, that actually is Sierra Leone. I am Nigerian, by the way, and I still want to do things back in my birth country and also help
Yeah.
other countries as well. Because
Yeah.
one thing I've realized is epilepsy hasn't got boundaries. It hasn't
No.
got it hasn't got um airports that would say, okay, it's about this country. It's limited
Yeah.
to the US, it's limited to the UK, it's across the world.
I
And
mean, it's
because I
different
work
in different pockets, but
exactly, and because I work in the UK, and then I compare it to what, people in Nigeria have got, in Ghana, in Kenya, and you're so passionate. The passion was just, it's just there. And I thought, okay, I'm doing all this work with Sierra Leone, which is fantastic, but how do I reach out to other countries as well?
I feel
Uh,
the same way.
and that was what more or less gave birth to Pretola Global Health and Consulting.
Okay.
So so Pretola Global Health and Consulting started last year. And last year I had the opportunity to go back to Nigeria
That's
for a family event. And because like I said, I went to Kenya in April. I met some Nigerian organizations that attended the conference, and I was like, oh, you guys, it was quite good to meet up with them, hear what they were doing. I was like, when I'm in Nigeria, we're gonna hook up, we're gonna do things together.
yeah.
And so
And did you
so last
did you have a chance to hook up with them?
yes, so last year, unfortunately, my nan passed, my grandma
Oh,
passed.
sorry.
So we had to go back for a funeral. And then I thought, oh, what a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Yes. So even though I'm going to celebrate the life of my grandma,
Sure.
I decided to use the opportunity to do some stuff there as well. So I hooked up with these two ladies that own this fantastic, they own two organizations. One has like a boarding house for
Oh,
kids with learning disabilities and autism, and it's just in the middle of really the slums, and she's just doing fantastic work with
yeah.
little resource there. And so both of them, they put up this program together to go out. And then I met up with Sheyi, who is the founder of
Uh-huh.
Epilepsy Foundation Nigeria, and then
Has
Bankole
been
as well, who
around for
is
a while.
Yes, so I'd never really heard of them until a
Oh, really?
few months before then. So we decided to, I contacted them going, I'm coming to Nigeria. I'm going to try and see if we can do something. Are you guys interested? And everyone rallied around. And we had a whole day of epilepsy teaching. I could go on, for like a month
I love it.
then. I could go on reaching out to families, reaching out to
Yeah.
parents, and actually even teaching professionals as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. No, I
It's
know.
so
I know. I've had the conversations. Yes, I know.
you know so it was quite good. I did that, and fortunately my mom was around because my mom is also a nurse as well, so she joined in, and it was good doing that, and I felt like staying back to do more.
Yeah.
So that was what brought out the organizations. Oh, excuse me. That was what gave birth to Pretola Global Health. Okay, I need something. I need to start something that could actually go across different countries,
Yeah.
even in the UK. Even in the UK. So
Yeah.
Pretola Global Health is not just outside of the UK. We have we're doing training even here on the Isle of Wight, to do training even in the UK to provide expert advice on care planning, risk assessments, and things like that, really. So that's what we do. So, yes.
That's awesome. So,
Mhm.
as you were kind of giving the overall picture, a thought occurred to me that like one thing that I've really struggled with
Mm,
living well is I make these connections and I learn about these resources, but I'm only one person, right?
mm, mm,
And you know I almost feel like if I could split myself into, you know, many me's,
mm,
then I would be of much more use to the community. But I'm not quite
mhm,
sure how to do that. And I kind of feel
mhm.
like you must have that same feeling a lot.
Yeah. The truth is, it can be overwhelming because the need is just so great,
And
you
never,
know, and never ending. And so it's so important to collaborate together and work together because it's not one man's problem. It's not one organization's problem. You can't fix it all.
right.
You can't fix it all. You have to work with the right people. And so I connect in with people like Tori, yourself, Nina Mago in Uganda, Fred Kiserem in Kenya. Oh, goodness. When I went to Kenya last year and I sat with Fred for like an hour, I was nearly in tears.
Oh,
You know, it's just so heartbreaking, really. And people are actually in those countries using the little resource they can to
right.
try and meet people's needs.
Yeah.
But when you hear raw needs, they're like raw needs.
Yeah.
People are not asking for wealth.
No.
They're just asking for basic medication,
Right.
the right treatment, right,
They want a
right
doctor
to
that's even heard of this.
exactly. They want to be able to go out in the community to tell people about their condition. They don't want to be scared. They don't want to be
Right.
stigmatized. So yes, we do need to make those connections and to get involved with the right projects. And so I'm really happy I'm part of Medical Assistance Sierra Leone because what the organization does, the charity, what they do in Sierra Leone is just so great, reaching out to people. We've partnered with Epilepsy Association Sierra Leone, so the charity there. So, like I said, MASL, which is Medical Assistance Sierra Leone, is registered in the UK,
Yeah.
but we partner with Epilepsy Association Sierra Leone, and they've got their support workers. We work with them to actually get the information out there. So last year October, I was in Sierra Leone for a week.
Yeah.
We more or less like I did. We more or less like did an epilepsy troll from one end of the country to the other. And we had, I think, was it four public sessions where people were invited to come with their families, their children, come and oh my goodness, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And
So
we
how was like so how were those sessions received? I have so many questions, but let's
mm,
start with how were those sessions received?
very well. It was like people were finally, it was as if someone was finally listening to them.
Okay.
And it was so great because Sierra Leone is actually in West Africa, like a neighbor to Nigeria. And we kind of have similar that apparently I didn't realize this until when I got there, that actually we speak we have like a similar language. In Nigeria we call it pidgin English, and they call it Creole.
Okay.
But it's like 60% the same, and the rest is a bit of something I don't understand. So so at first I thought I'll be able to understand what they were saying, but I had to get an interpreter with me on the day. But it was well received. People were actually asking questions.
Oh,
So I went with Sarah Snow, who is our project coordinator. She started the charity. She's a fantastic woman to work with. I couldn't sing more praises about her. So we went together, and on our way on the fly, we were discussing how we're going to do these sessions, and she gave me background
okay.
information about differences between gender,
Mhm.
and we kind of need to get them, both men and women, to start to talk together,
Yeah.
and also give the women a voice as well, because a lot of times it's the men that speak. It's a more of a male dominated
Yeah.
culture, so to speak,
Hey,
African culture.
cultural. Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided, so we had it planned out. So on the first day we did like so I did like an introductory quiz just to have an idea of what they
Dynamic
understood,
would be.
to know how you go ahead with it.
Right.
you know. And before I forget, our tagline for the week was living well with epilepsy.
Ah, interesting.
Just so you know. Yes. Um, so we did
With
that, and
Mark drama.
so
The whole point
we
is that everybody is living well with epilepsy.
I know, and that was the idea, to get them to start to think that you can actually live well
Right.
with
No.
epilepsy, which a lot of them didn't know that they could. So that day we started with the quiz, and then we had different bits about what is epilepsy. And the bit that was quite fascinating was that when I mentioned that it's not a Sierra Leonean thing, it's not an African man's thing,
Ah.
some of them were quite taken aback because they thought it's only for you only get it as a Sierra Leonean, or it's only
Ah.
people in Sierra Leone that has it. And I had to kind of be blunt. I said, look, I live on the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight is predominantly white Caucasian. Yeah, and I have patients, and a lot of them have got epilepsy.
Yeah.
So it's not, I live in the UK, I've worked in different bits of the UK, and it's not, and they were quite shocked because by the time we
Yeah.
started talking about some of the myths that they held, so things like, oh, maybe my child has gone into some spirit world,
Yeah.
or things like that, they realized actually it's not true.
Yeah.
So we had the meat busting exercise. We also had like the male and female. So what we did was try to group them, so put them apart, male,
Uh-huh.
women, and then
Bring them
the
back
male.
together.
Yes, so in the male group, they identify the issues with regards to men and epilepsy, and then
Yeah.
the women as well, and then bringing them back together to share the information with everyone. And the women were able to actually speak out in public about the fact that their husbands refuse to have marital sex with them. The men, they've been kicked out of their homes.
Yep.
Men were actually able to talk about sexual dysfunction,
Yep.
which you wouldn't speak about.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And get them to write it out. And people were actually, oh, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. It was hot, but it was fantastic.
That's okay.
And then we had people, oh, there was this one is imprinted in my brain. I'll never forget. So what we did was I decided to do a role play as well.
Mhm.
Okay, that people should come out. So we have someone having a tonic-clonic seizure, and in the middle of the road. So the idea was someone having a tonic-clonic seizure in the market space.
Mhm.
Come and help this person. Show me what you would do. And oh, people were pinning this person down,
Uh,
holding the neck, holding the hands.
oh,
That's what they would do to
I know.
try and help. And on the first day, this was in Freetown, a grandma was in the crowd. She came, so whilst people were holding down this person having this seizure, she went to the foot, pulled off her flip-flop slippers and started eating the palm, the feet.
I have
With
heard that. Yeah.
oh, I'd never heard of that.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have heard of that.
And when they were doing it, I didn't stop them. I let them do it. And I was like, oh, well done, guys. Thank you. And go sing. And the question was, why did you do that? Can you explain it to me? And by the time we talked it through, they realized actually it was no good. You could probably cause more harm than good. And then I show them the right first aid rescue way in which you can help people. And then we had sessions where, as well, when so a woman, no, so the first role play, a guy had a seizure, and everyone ran out. So men, women ran out to help this person. Of course, doing the wrong thing, pinning them down, and all that, which was okay. And then I said, can a woman come and have a seizure? So a lady came to have a seizure. And guess what? No man came to help her.
Oh.
No man stood up to help her. And I asked why. And then they said, well, because you're not allowed to do that, in the sense that people might think you're going to rape the woman. And also, you're not, so someone used the sentence, you're not allowed to see your sister's nakedness. Because I said, what if it was your sister? Yeah, because apparently you're not allowed to see your sister's nakedness. And it was just, and I said, look, that's the least of our worries. Right now, she's in the middle of the road in a market. She needs to be safe. Um, and so trying to talk them through that. And at the end, they were like, okay. So I showed them. So the problem is because they kind of pin people down, they straddle them, they, try and stand over someone. So imagine a man standing over a woman, it kind of looks like you're about to have a sexual activity
Yeah.
whilst you're trying to help them, help the lady. So what I did was to show them the right way, which actually a man can do to a woman.
Mhm.
So by the
Right.
time I showed it to them, I said, do you think you can do that? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It was so,
I know.
it was so interesting. It was so interesting. So they received it well. I could have stayed. We had like sessions from like 10 a.m. to like 3 p.m. And afterwards, I still had one-to-one sessions and all that. So we could have stayed there for a whole week at each town,
Yeah.
but we didn't have the time. But yeah, it was well received and they really appreciated it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So I guess my next question, which it sort of goes without saying, but and I'm not quite sure how to frame the question, but without being completely obvious, but I guess the impact. What do you think the impact of stigma is on the communities in these communities? Like, what? How do you think the stigma of epilepsy is affecting not just the people with epilepsy, but their families, and whether or not they're getting the care they need, and you know, even just how they're getting the help that they need if they have a seizure in the market.
Yeah. And it's all around. You can't even on the, it's just I don't even know how to put it. I don't even have the right words
Right.
for it. If you think about, okay, let's think about the person with epilepsy. The person with epilepsy, if it's a child, could be the last person to eat in the family, would not eat on the same with it because a lot of families in Sierra Leone, if I'm not being stereotypical now, they tend to eat together in big
Mhm.
bowls as a family. That's their culture. But they wouldn't eat with the normal with their family members. They'll probably eat the dregs left.
Mhm.
They're isolated, they're stuck indoors. The risks as well. The families don't want people to know them because they don't want them to be ostracized because if they know that this family has got a child or a husband or a wife with
Right.
that condition, they could be, you know, left out
Right.
of
And
things that
they'll
go
have a lack of sort of communal resources, I would assume.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, which they all need, you
Right.
know, which they all need. And then when we talk about going to schools, you see kids at each session. This was another funny thing. At each session we actually had people having seizures right in there as well. And it was more of, you know, telling them, okay, this is what I'm telling you, and this is what you should do now, right there and there.
Yeah.
And we had kids. So at each session as well, we had the male and the female bit. We also had the kids bit as well, where we actually made ask the kids to tell us how they feel,
Yeah.
and they were able to tell their parents how they feel. And I remember a young boy actually telling me, said, "Auntie, why can't I go to school?"
Mhm.
And then I said, "Why can't you go to school? Tell me why." And apparently, it's his school had told him he wasn't allowed to come in. So, fortunately, we had a support worker in that area. So, I linked him up with a support worker, telling the support worker, go to the school, go do trainings in there, get the boy back to school. So, we had that. Also, bits about the risks associated with epilepsy. So, we have, oh, the risks are just, oh, you know,
I know.
imagine people cooking in with open fires outside, and then they have a seizure and they fall into open fires, and they have like really, really nasty body scarrings,
Yeah.
and so imagine them going out and about, and people can see all that.
Yeah.
Think about the way they're perceived. Think about the way they're received. So the risks, the stigma is so. It's just, you know, that's why we're trying. We're going all out to
Yeah.
go out there to create awareness, which is why I want to, encourage those that are doing it in other countries. Nina, Fred, everyone, Shay, but also work with them from the professional point of view as well. Because another thing, like we know, is you could get people with epilepsy to go to hospitals. But if the professionals in the hospitals haven't got a clue of what they're doing, you
I know.
might as well be sending them into their death sentence, you know. So that's why we educate professionals, nurses. You'll be surprised that some nurses are still pinning people down as well. So,
It's
edu-
still happening here in the United States.
so we educate people, not just the public, also healthcare practitioners as well,
Yeah.
and provide them with expert advice as to how to care for people
Yeah.
with epilepsy. Yes. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I don't think we'll ever have a true sort of, I don't think so. I think it's a domino effect. I don't think that people will be able to access the meds that they need until we have a true count of the people that are living with epilepsy. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll have a true count of the people that are living with epilepsy until the stigma is a little bit is managed better. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we'll be able to manage the stigma better until we implement tools similar to until we tackle it the same way that the HIV community tackled it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
Yeah. until when it's rated on at the same high priority
Yeah.
as HIV/AIDS, HIV community. Until then, because when you tell people that it's actually one of the most common neurological condition, they're just taken aback. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is across the world, and children, adults,
Mm-hmm.
young, male, female, no race, really.
I
So until when we start to take it so serious that it's such a very, very dangerous condition, if not managed well, if left unmanaged,
mm-hmm.
can be quite dangerous. Until when we start looking at it from that point of view, then yeah, so we just need to, that's why we keep having these conversations, right? To
Yeah.
get people to listen, to find ways to talk to the right people in the right places. There's people making all these techs in all these technologies in all these developed countries, and I'm like, hang on, you've still got a massive, massive, you've not even,
Let's do the basics.
it needs to go to those countries as well, because until when they start to do research with those technologies in those countries, we don't even have SUDEP's number, SUDEP, statistics in Africa.
Let's
We
find
don't.
out who has epilepsy.
Exactly. Exactly. We don't.
All
When
right.
Sarah and I were in Sierra Leone in October, we were told about a bit of Sierra Leone where they were having an incident there. I don't know what it was that was going on, but a lot of the young um children there, they started having seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more of a public health thing. They were going in there to do some research, but I've not heard about that because since
Yeah,
it's not, there was no awareness about it. Nothing was spoken. But if it was in a different developed country, we will hear about it,
I know.
isn't it?
True. It's true.
Mm. Mm.
All right, I'm gonna lose my sound because at like 3:30 I get cut off by Instagram. And I want to make sure that this is a good recording so I can post
Mm.
it to my story and to my website because I think this
Mm.
is really important and we need to make sure a lot of people hear this. And I want to do it again. So will you come on again, please?
Yes, if you
Thank
have
you.
me, yes.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy we got to do this. I want to keep talking.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, I, like I said, I have some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
They need to, they need to become a little bit more than ideas. Um, but I'm just gonna keep talking to you and to other people, and we're gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
moving the ball down the road, and we'll see
Yeah.
what we can do.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree. Yeah.
All right. Much
But
love.
don't just keep them as ideas. Bring
No,
them out.
oh, believe me, no, absolutely not. No, work has already been done on it, but at this point, um, if if we're going to do anything, it needs to become IRB approved.
Okay.
And because of COVID-19, like any of the institutions that would partner with me are just
Yeah.
busy right now. But
Yeah.
I have folks that are really interested. So
Yeah.
now I just have to kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
see if there's pockets of time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so we'll see.
Fortunately, I've more or less developed some form of links with some people as well. So we've got some guys in the US actually, Tigo, Daniel, in Gohi, which the oh God, I don't want to call their name wrong. They're involved, they're into EEGs and diagnostic aspects of things. So we're working with them as well. So once you're having more, you've got a
Yeah,
bit of more flesh on it, let us know and we can figure it out together.
yeah, this is much more like more stigma focused.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested in kind of keeping you in the loop on that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
It
right.
was lovely chatting with you
You
anyway.
too. Thank you so much. We'll do this again.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.